A very good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to each one of you. We are excited to have you here today at Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning for an insightful session as a part of our Institution Innovation Council calendar activity. On behalf of SCDL, I, Dr. Sunita Nikam, extending a warm welcome to everyone present here. SCDL established Institution Innovation Council, that is IIC, to promote innovation-based ecosystem on campus. IIC encourages creativity of students and faculties by supporting them to work with new ideas and transform them into prototype. Topic for today's session is Business Model Canvas, which is a strategic management and entrepreneurial tool. It allows you to describe, design, challenge, invent, and pivot your business model. This method from the best-selling management book Business Model Canvas is applied in leading organizations and startups worldwide. We are honored to have Professor Padmapriya Irabatti, an eminent academician and experienced professional, as our distinguished speaker for today's session. Dr. Priya brings a wealth of knowledge and experience with remarkable career spanning 26 plus years across academia and industry. She is PhD in marketing management. As a professor of management at SCDL, Professor Priya has been driving force behind various initiatives, including the establishment of first international research journal on open and distance learning. Her passion for teaching is marked in her one of the role as the director of School of Media Management at Symbiosis Skills and Professional University. With 6.5 years of corporate experience, including role as a sales officer, marketing manager, and general manager, Professor Priya brings a unique blend of practical insights and academic accuracy to her sessions. Professor Priya has received numerous awards, including the Best Teacher Award by Aruragam Hyderabad, the Academic Excellence Award in the category of Best Professor in Strategic Management at the post of graduate level. Professor Priya's contribution extends beyond the classroom. Over 30 published papers in international and national journals and books. Her notable work include the research-based report, How to Teach Easily, focusing on faculty members in the business management stream. Professor Priya possesses a diverse skill set that enriches her teaching methodology. She is having many certifications to her credit. Join us in welcoming Professor Dr. Priya, an ideal of knowledge and an inspiration educator, to share her insights and expertise in today's session. Now, without further ado, I invite Professor Dr. Padmapriya to take the virtual stage and guide us through the art of Business Model Canvas.
Thank you, Dr. Sunita.
Ma'am, I'll be making you host.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Just give me. Yes, ma'am. You can share your screen. It's visible now.
It's visible. Good. So good afternoon to one and all. It was really, first of all, let me thank once again Dr. Sunita for a very, very nice introduction. Many of those things she could compile and collaborate so well. Like I was also not aware about many of these things that could be, like compiled so skillfully. So thank you very much once again for that. Now coming to today's session, which is about, you can see the name, Business Model Canvas. This is actually something which is, though sounds new, but this is not a very new technology or new thing. Okay, majority of the entrepreneurs, majority of the businessmen who probably may, like have already worked in the business ventures for a long time, they over a period of time, derive such kind of business model canvas on their own. But this is basically for those who are into the startups, who are the first generation entrepreneurs, who are, like starting their ventures for the first time, and still they want to ensure that they are not missing out any of the element of the enterprise at the end of the day, which can damage in the long term. So for that reason, for those who are starting their ventures, this business model canvas is one of the guideline or set of all those checklists, we can say, which can help them to ensure that they are doing all those necessary practices and tasks and functions which are necessary for any successful what we can say development as well as the implementation of business strategies. So with this, what we can say initial introduction about business model canvas, this is basically the what we can say the concept that we are learning under the innovation center. Okay, so this is innovative way of not only developing your business plan but also implementing the business plan by taking into consideration all necessary inputs which are needed for any business enterprise. So here, what is business model canvas? It is the strategic management tool that provides visual representation of the company's business model. Now you can see here how business canvas or business model canvas look like. You can see there are 9 elements or 9 components which are very important component for any organization for that sake. Okay, so this business model canvas gives you the visual representation and ensures that you are touching all those necessary areas of the business enterprises. And at the end of the day, all these things are properly interconnected. So what makes the business model canvas so powerful that it is it makes you capable of stimulating the discussion and collaboration at the end of the day, and ensures that all the necessary tasks are performed simultaneously for business operations and business success. Now, why canvas? First of all, let us discuss, because unless, just a second. Yeah. Mistakenly, I have stopped the share. Is it now visible? Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible, ma'am.
Good. So why canvas? Let us first of all understand, because so far this canvas word we probably might have heard in the space of, like artistic approach, like the painters, they use the canvas. So what do they do in the canvas? They bring all their artistic visions and they bring them in the reality. They probably portray what is there in the mind on the in the tangible form. So that is what canvas actually used for. So similarly, the first generation entrepreneurs or fresh entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, for them to understand that in case if they are looking forward to start any venture, what all things need to be kept on mind, what all things have to be put on the surface so that they can connect each other and at the end of the day, they are not missing out anything. So this provides the foundation for creativity. Now we have seen already, we are going to discuss different blocks in the business model canvas later on. But before that, let me tell you that this canvas, which is a visual representation of many other elements and components of business, that work as a foundation for creativity. Because entrepreneurs use this business model canvas as a starting point to visualize and innovate their business ideas. Then it also works as a structured framework. Okay, because this business model canvas provide the structured layout. We are going to discuss all those different components, and from that we'll come to know that how they basically provide you the structured layout of different components of the business processes. Then, as we have already seen, that is a visualization tool in which we can have the holistic approach and holistic understanding of your entire business operations. It also what we can say helps you to go for the further what we can say improvements. So it is an iterative process. So with the help of this business model canvas, you can keep on, refining, redefining your business strategies, redefining your business processes time to time to make it more relevant as per your business formats. And it also works as a communication tool to the all external world. Okay, so that your all stakeholders, direct stakeholders, internal, external stakeholders, they can exactly understand what your business is all about. So canvas is for this. Okay, so after understanding the purpose of the canvas and after understanding its importance, let us directly go towards what exactly business model canvas is all about. Okay, I will skip this part because I have already covered that somewhere in between. If you want, you can go through it. It basically provides a structured framework, as I said, because it helps you to understand, analyze, and innovate your business processes. And basically, as you can see, there are 9 important terms and 9 important concepts and components which are very important for any business, which are very essential for the business, success of the business. They are given the priority, they are given the focus, and that is what makes this business model canvas very important for the budding entrepreneurs. Okay, because those who are learning, who are probably setting up their ventures for the first time, those who are new to their all business processes, they may be very good at technology, they may be very good at particular business idea, but while operating or rather bringing that business idea onto surface, okay, onto actual reality, what all different things need to be done. If they are getting the proper template for that, this is something which is going to help them. So this business model canvas provide that kind of template to these budding entrepreneurs to ensure that everything is performed as per the requirement. Okay. So now let us start the discussion on how to create the business model canvas. So before I proceed to understand or rather explain how to create the business model canvas, let me get the confirmation from any of you that did you understand exactly what is the concept of business model canvas and what is the purpose and importance? Any of you can just tell me if you understood this concept of business model canvas and exactly what this is all about. What is the purpose of it? Anyone can confirm. I guess I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Huh.
Anyone from the participants, attendees can please reply.
Vanshika, I guess you are in my classes. You generally attend my classes. So you know how our classes goes on. So please keep on giving your interactive, replies to the class so that we can have a proper discussion. Otherwise, it will sound very, very one-sided. Kushbu, is it understood? The concept is clear. We haven't yet started any discussion on business model canvas. But did you at least got the preliminary idea about business model canvas? Rabia? Okay. So let me start. Let's see how the business model canvas is created. Okay. So we are going to discuss it stepwise. Though there are 9 components, they are again clubbed under certain steps which are what we can say which are similar to each other. So we are going to discuss stepwise process of creating the business model canvas. So what is step 1? Understand the building blocks of the business model canvas. Okay. Now what is this? Here, we first of all understand that what exactly business model canvas look like. What are those 9 components which we are talking since long time that these are the components of business model canvas. Let us first of all understand what all those building blocks are in any of the business model canvas. Okay. So here the conceptual tool which we are talking about, which uses the 9 boxes about all those business performances, they are properly to be understood by a person who is going to develop this business model canvas. So let us see what are those terms. Okay. So you can see here 9 blocks: customer segment, customer relationship, value proposition, channels, then key partnerships, key activities, key resources, revenue streams, and cost structure. So you can see that these 9 things, if properly taken care, okay, we are going to discuss their meaning and their relevance with the help of different examples in the coming slides. But you will see that any enterprise, for that sake, if they are taking care of these things, nothing will be left out. Okay, because it is taking care of your operational part, marketing aspects, finance aspect, your stakeholder aspect, your revenue aspect, everything is taken into consideration. So these 9 blocks will give you the idea that what all things need to be performed when any enterprise is in a process of development, when any enterprise is set. Okay. So these are the 9 blocks that one should understand one by one, so that you can, unless and until you understand the meaning of these blocks, you'll not be able to give the right justification for that, right inputs for that. So first of all, the very first step in creating the business model canvas is to understand these 9 blocks. Understand these all different blocks in the business model canvas. Okay. The next step is to understand all those things one by one. Now we are going to start with the first set of what we can say components, which are regarding the customers, which are customer centric elements. That is understanding your customer segment and defining the value proposition. Okay. So let us discuss these two things first, so that we can understand its relevance in the previous, what we can say, business model platform. So what is customer segment? This is very generic term, like even the non-marketing person or non-business person can nowadays understand it, because this is something which is so commonly spoken concept, or we can say term, that is customer segment. So it is the segment, or it is the group of all those customers who are potential customers for your product, for your business. Okay. So customer segment is a group of customers which are having some similar needs, and they are to be targeted, they are to be understood while designing all your marketing strategies. Okay. So basically, when we talk about the very first requirement, that whenever any enterprise is set, that they need to know that who are my customers, because there is no point in investing your time, money, and energy in all customers who are probably not your customers. So you will have to first of all identify who is my target customers. So to identify that customer segment, you should ask yourself some questions. What are those? That for whom I'm creating the value. Suppose you are into the cosmetics, and particularly for those for anti-aging category of cosmetics. So whom you are creating the value for? Are you creating the value for those girls who are 16 or 20 years old? Definitely not. You are creating value only for those who are probably 30 or 40 plus, because they are the one who are needing this anti-aging cream. So you should first of all decide that which segment, what is that segment of the customers I'm creating value for. Now this concept value we are going to discuss in the next slide, where we are going to discuss that value proposition component. Okay, there I'll explain it better. The next is, who are our most important customers? Okay, amongst the what we can say the customers, there could be some customers who are most important because they are the one who should be given the first priority. Then who can be served better than anyone else? Okay, then what are those needs and wants that we are going to set, means we are going to basically satisfy, so that we can actually understand where we are supposed to put our energy, where we are supposed to spend our efforts, time, and money. So these are the questions which will give you the idea that who are my customers. This is very important, okay? Because any enterprise, unless they know that who are their customers, cannot proceed to design any of their strategies, because right from your product strategy, your pricing strategy, your distribution strategy, your promotion strategy, everything depends on this. So one should be very clear, and one should have the very clarity about the customer segment that they are catering to. Okay, is that clear? Now, next component is value proposition. Now, when we are talking about value proposition is not about technology, trends, or product. Okay, product in itself is very, like distinct element. Okay, it is something which is a bundle of utilities, which is providing you certain benefits. Whereas value is something over and above that. Value is something which what customer is trying to, like expect, or rather he's trying to get out of that product through that particular, like satisfaction of that particular requirement. What exactly he is getting as a ultimate satisfaction, that is a value. Okay, like say for example, when I'm buying from Amazon, definitely I'm buying some product. Okay, I'm buying the product on online platform. Probably I'm buying it cheaper. So what is the value apart from that product that I'm buying? What I'm buying, what exactly I'm buying? I'm buying convenience. I'm buying the cost effectiveness. Okay, I'm buying something which is the confirmation that if I don't like the product, I can return it and get my money back. So this is the confirmation. This is something which is making the customer to buy online. So this is the value proposition. So whenever you are starting any enterprise, you should know, you should fix your value proposition, that what exactly you are going to give to your customer as a value. Okay, exactly what you are developing or producing is a product that they are going to get at the end of the day. But what value the customer is trying to see? It is basically creating that product market fit. Okay, how product is used. Okay, how product is understood, how product is accepted by the customers is a product market fit. So you should understand that as a value proposition. Okay, like one more example, you can say Uber's value proposition. Okay, apart from commutation from one place to other place, which is actual service that Uber is giving, what exactly, why Uber have become so successful? There are so many other companies which came after that, but they couldn't. Why? Because they couldn't deliver this value of convenience, affordability, and reliability. Okay, like some days back, I was traveling with Uber taxi. And that Uber taxi, they have stopped at one gas filling station. And because of that, that particular, what we can say, journey was showing as it stopped for 10 minutes. Immediately in next minute, I got a call that your taxi was waiting for 10 minutes. Is there any problem? So this kind of reliability, this kind of service they are giving, and that's the reason the customer is believing in them. So this is Uber's value proposition. Are you getting? Very important thing, because probably we may confuse with the value and the cost and the product and all that. There is always a confusion. So as a marketer, as an entrepreneur, you should understand that what value I'm sharing with the customers or to any of the stakeholder of my organization. Okay. So anybody can tell me what is the value proposition for SCDL? You all are the students of SCDL, right? So can you derive me or tell me the value that a value proposition of SCDL? Recently, we have celebrated the Foundation Day of SCDL. So on that occasion, I want some of the students of SCDL can tell me what is the value proposition of SCDL. Anyone? Or any staff member? I think few of the staff are also present here. Can you tell me the value proposition of SCDL? Dr. Sunita?
Ma'am, I think Nikhil, sir, you want to speak something or?
Yeah, can you give me the value proposition for SCDL?
One is its brand
Yeah.
recognition and legacy.
Legacy, okay.
Brand recognition of Symbiosis.
Okay.
And also amongst the distance learning, it's value for money or affordability
Okay.
vis-a-vis.
Affordability, correct?
Yeah, affordability with the value that is
With the value,
the
okay.
teaching value that it gives.
A kind of weightage and the brand, what we can say, that gives you when you are ultimately carrying yourself as a student of SCDL. Okay, the
Yeah.
kind of treatment you get, a kind of, like image that you develop. So all this is a value proposition, right? I guess it
Correct.
is clear now. The second concept is clear to everyone. Let's go to the third. Now here we are going to discuss the third step, in which we are going to discuss the next three components of the business model canvas. Now here we are talking about key resources, key partners, key activities, and cost structure. Okay. So let us discuss them one by one. Now, when we talk about key resources, basically, whenever we talk about resources, we are having a very limited understanding on resources. We either consider resources as raw material resources or at them as human resources, but there are many other resources simultaneously one should work on when the enterprise is set or enterprise is to be managed. Okay, so these key resources could be obviously property and physical resources. Okay, like Toyota has its own car factory. Okay, General Motors have its own car factory. Then there are many other, organizations which has got its own plans and all that. Office is there. Okay, so that is a physical resource. Then a human resource. Okay, human resource. We always share the what we can say legacy as well as example of Taj Hotels for their best human resource. Okay, the case study of Taj Hotels, it has become very popular during that attack, terrorist attack, how those employees have taken care of the what we can say safety of all those guests, and they have put the security of the guest actually more like it was priority to them. So this is human resource. What we are talking about human resource. Then next is financial resources, which is something about your financial status. Okay, Reliance, TCS, Infosys, HDFC, all these are known for their financial resources. Then information resource like Google, Facebook, Zomato, they are having information resources. Nowadays, we are calling it as a data, which is the blood we are saying. Okay, nowadays data has basically driving everything. It is data-driven society we are saying. So those who are having data, they are the richest. This is how going to become the picture in coming days. So all these organizations who are having huge data, okay, you must have seen the very humorous reel by Google that somebody is calling, and then Google is continuously talking about next and next things like you cannot buy this because you are having say you are having so and so disease. Okay, if the customer is saying no, I am not having any disease, then automatically the reports come. So Google is having the huge data. It is having the data of your entire lifestyle. what you're doing, where are you going, what you are visiting, what you are, like probably you are probably thinking that I'm doing all these things without knowing anyone. But Google is nowadays knowing everything. Same with Zomato, same with Facebook. So this is the data, which is the resource again. Okay. Then intellectual properties, patents, the company like GlaxoSmithKline, Bayer, these are all people, companies which are having their like intellectual property as their resource. Okay, the main resource or key resource we can say. Then companies like Google, Airbnb, Nike, the digital resource is their key resource. Okay, Tesla, BMW, the brand name itself is their key resource. So these are different resources, and they some of the organizations identify them as a key resources. Okay, they are their key resources because they are the one which are very strong in their connection. Okay, so you can see here. So one have to understand that whenever I'm setting up my enterprise, I need to know what are my key resources, because obviously those key resources are something which we cannot take any chance with. These are the key resources which always give you the identity in the market. Okay, Tesla is known for its brand name. So brand resource is something which is the resource that they should always cherish and they should always develop and maintain. They cannot do anything which can harm their brand name. Okay, BMW should always be very keen about their brand name. Okay, Taj Hotels, as they are seen that human resource is their strength, they have to always keep on, they need not to be told, rather they are having that same legacy. So they are known for their human resources. So these are key resources. So every enterprise and every entrepreneur, whenever they are starting any business enterprise, they should know what are the key resources for my organization. It is not necessary that all the resources will be key resources, but you have to identify that out of the different resources that I'm using and applying in my business, which one are the key resources. Okay, so this is the next thing that the entrepreneur have to check it down as a next element in your business canvas, business model canvas. The next is key partners. Okay, so key partners are those which are basically contributing a very strong, input in your overall operations. Okay, they are the one who are responsible for your important outcome. Okay, so the key questions that you should ask to identify who are your key partners, that you should first of all identify who create the value proposition that you are offering to the customer. Suppose, say for example, delivery is your value, or fastest delivery is your value. Suppose Amazon is saying that the fastest delivery or any kind of, any kind of hurdle-less barrier free delivery is my key value proposition. Okay, so your channel partners, those who are delivering that, okay, the delivery boys, obviously they become the key partner. Why? Because they are the one who are responsible for this. If they don't perform all those necessary SOPs that are necessary to be completing or necessary to complete those deliveries in time, the Amazon will not be able to do that. They will not be able to meet up to that value proposition of timely delivery. So you should understand that based on your value proposition, who are my key partners? Okay, who are my key partners who are ultimately making me to offer my values to my customers. Okay, so they could be your supply partners, they could be your tech partners, they could be channel partners, they could be any other partners in the form of some consultancies and all that. So know who are your key partners, because they are the one who are going to help you, and they are the one who are going to stay with you for the long term in case if you are properly managing them. And they are the one who are adding value to your all operations. And therefore you should know who are my key partners. Now these partners, though they are not actually partner in your business, but they are the one who are partnering your operations. They are partnering your deliveries. They are partnering your value propositions. Is that clear? Any questions so far? Let's go to the next component, key activities. Now, once you are designing, once you are developing the inputs as well as the required, things that we have discussed in the previous slides, next task is the entrepreneur should understand what are my key activities. What are my key activities? Why? Because these are the activities which should be given the priority. These are the activities which are directly connected with your value proposition. Okay. So generally, what are the different activities the enterprise perform? Research and development, planning, marketing, finance, production, okay, or designing, problem solving, product development. So these are different tasks which are performed by any enterprise. So as an entrepreneur, while preparing the business model canvas, you should identify what are my key activities. What are those activities I should always be very serious with, for which I can't take any chance, for which I can't be, like perform any kind of mistakes. I don't have any choice, because if I'm doing any small mistake in these key activities, it is going to escalate and become bigger in a long term. So one have to identify out of the different tasks and the activities that I'm performing, which one are the crucial to my business processes. Okay, so they are the key activities of your business. We are going to discuss that with the help of example later, but I want you to at least understand these terms so that you'll come to know that what all things need to be understood and basically need the understanding when you're preparing the business model canvas. Then comes the cost structure. This is again very, very important, because ultimately it talks about your profitability. It is directly connected and impacting your profitability. Okay, so what are the different costs that I'm incurring? What are the operational costs, capital investment cost, taxation, other things like even rent, insurance, benefits, repairs, maintenance. All these are the different costs that the enterprise have to spend for different things. Okay, these are the different expenses that the enterprise have to be keen about. So one should understand that what is the cost structure of my organization. See, company to company, enterprise to enterprise, startup to startup, it is not necessary that all these things will be the cost structure of every organization. Okay, say for example, one organization which is only into the trading, they are not at all into any of the manufacturing. So because of that, they don't have any manufacturing setup and all that. Then obviously their task is to only identify some operations, some applications through which they can connect the buyers and sellers on one platform. So that time their cost structure is going to be different than the cost structure of a manufacturer, right? So one should know that what is my cost structure, where I'm spending, what kind of task and what kind of resources are eating away my profitability. Okay, where I can save, where I have to be not very keen on saving. So questions that you should ask when you are analyzing the cost structure are: what are the most significant costs in my business model? Then which key resources are more expensive? Okay, then which key activities are expensive, and which key resources and activities are best outsourced to key partners. Key partners we are going to discuss. We have already discussed key partners. So instead of you doing that particular task or activity, whether if you outsource that to your key partners, is it going to be cost effective? Okay, so these are the 4 questions one have to be very clear on, one should have the clarity on while designing the cost structure, while understanding, or we can say scripting your cost structure. Okay, so cost structure is basically that which describes about your different cost elements. And then while designing, or rather while writing about the cost structure, you should understand that where I'm spending more. Okay, what is the significant cost in my entire business, and in case if it is possible, whether I can outsource some of the activities to my key partners, which will help me to save the cost. See, unless and until you are saving the cost, there is no point in outsourcing. So if it is possible for you to save the cost by outsourcing, then you are going to opt for it, because ultimately cost structure is to ensure that you are saving the cost, because saving the cost ultimately will impact on your profitability. If you are saving the cost, you are increasing the profitability. As simple as. Okay. So cost structure is the next part. So we have discussed about all those things, all these business model canvas factors for creating the value proposition, for understanding your customer segment, your customer, what we can say, the key partners, key activities. Okay, so all those things we have seen. Now, in the latter part of your process of developing the business model, we are going to see the output part. These are all where the inputs which are necessary to be understood as a part of input which goes into the business model formation. Now, once we have got the clarity on, let's go and understand what are the output of the business enterprise. Okay, how we can understand what is exactly the output of the business enterprise. So step 4 is to define the output factors, like customer relationship that you have developed, the channels that you have created and which you are using to reach out to your customers, and what are the different revenue streams that you have identified. Okay, so as a next part of your components in the business model canvas, we are going to discuss customer relationship, channels, and revenue streams. Let's discuss them one by one. So first is customer relationship. the type of relationship that business establishes with its customer, okay, to acquire, retain, and grow its customer base is the part of your customer relationship task. Okay, so it is nothing but it is not just relationship in a normal way, or we can say generally the normally how we say or how we use the relationship word, just an interaction or something like that. But here we are being more scientific and more specific about this customer relationship term, wherein we are trying to establish or understand that ultimately how I am acquiring, retaining, and growing my customer base. And for that, how I am continuously being in touch with my customer, how I'm accessible to my customer. That is customer relationship at the end of the day. So some litmus test questions that you should ask yourself to understand what is the status of customer relationship. Okay, so what are those questions? How does customer interact with you through the sales and product life cycle? At different stages of the product life cycle, at different stages of the transactions, how your customer is interacting with you. Is there any provision that in case if customer is needing your help, you are accessible? Okay, they can contact you. Okay, and that's the reason you must have seen that people are believing even in the e-commerce, there are only few things or few e-commerce companies that could flourish because they are accessible to the customers. There are many more companies which are in the e-commerce, but as they don't have any, like a very fair and very transparent system of communication, customer don't feel like buying there. Okay, it is only because of that transparency, it is only because that you can immediately contact the customer care without any kind of problem, and that too with a very warm, like thing, they sort out your problems. Because of that experience, the customers are increasingly buying from Amazon, Flipkart, and Mantra for these kind of things. Why? Because of the same thing, that they allow the customer to interact without any kind of hassle, without any kind of problems or barriers. So how does customer interact with you? Then do they have the dedicated personal contacts? Do they have, can they see you? Can they call you? Okay, or you just have the interaction over the website in which there is no personalized interactions. Okay, or do they never see you at all? Obviously, if they are not going to see you at all, then that kind of connection will not be built. That will not be, that faith will not be created, trust will not be created. So these are all parameters which will talk about the kind of intensity of relationship the customer have with the organization. Okay, so these are few important questions that you should reply and seek the answers to understand the element or the intensity of relationship that you have developed with your customer. And if you get the answer that yes, I have developed and the customer is can contact me anytime and I'm accessible to the customer at any point of time, okay, and I'm there to sort their problems, solve their problems, obviously that is something which is desirable in the business venture. Okay, so customer relationship is the output that we are talking about. Obviously, which kind of customer relationship? The strong customer relationship. Okay, the faithful and the trustful customer relationship. Then channels. Okay, now to reach out to your customers, the medium is a challenge. Okay, so channels include the entities that we use as an entrepreneur, as we use to communicate with the customer segment. Okay, so these channels are set by the organizations, taking into consideration what value proposition they want to create, what kind of service or what kind of product they are ultimately dealing into. Okay, what is their cost structure? Okay, all things are interrelated. If your cost structure is something which is very, very compact and where there is very, like less scope for any kind of additional expense, and if you go on adding the channels in your distribution, that will not work. So these are the decisions which depends on many other activities and many other components in the business model canvas. Okay, so sometimes this channel may be chain of business or intermediaries, and alternatively they could be the direct relationship also. Some firms you must have seen that they don't have any intermediaries. Okay, so they have the direct, like connect with the customers, like companies like Oriflame. I don't know what they are doing now, but not Oriflame, sorry. What is that? They are into the multi-level marketing. Anybody can just give me that name? It's not coming in my mind. Or Tupperware also for that sake. Okay, Tupperware company, if you remember, they never sold through any of their outlets. They have appointed the ladies who used to go to the various societies and they used to demonstrate those products and sell those products. So they are directly connecting with the customers. So these are different channels, and which channel you are going to choose to reach out to your customer depends on who are your customers, how accessible they are, how remotely, spread they are, okay, whether they are scattered or whether they are at one place, okay, what is your cost structure associated with that. So all those things will help you to understand what is my channel. Channel means the process or the way through which I'm going to reach out to my customers, okay. And next is revenue stream. Obviously, the reason for which any organization exists, okay, revenue stream. So revenue streams are the means by which the customers reward the organizations for the sharing of value that they are delivering. Okay. So this basically, these revenue streams should be enough for you to take care of your cost, for you to take care of your employee expenses and other operational expenses, and yet generate the profit. Okay. So revenue streams are, you can see here, this is the list of different revenue streams that nowadays we are seeing in different formats in different businesses. And the organization should choose, the enterprise and the entrepreneur should choose that which combination of different revenue streams I am going to select, I am going to finalize for my business. Like transaction is something which is common revenue stream. Like you are having transaction of your services or products, you are exchanging it, and you against that you are getting the revenue. That is a transaction stream. Okay. Then next is recurring. Okay, there could be some renting options, licensing options, lending options, to which on a regular interval you keep on getting the revenue. Okay, nowadays the OTT platforms and all that, they are having subscriptions. So that is a recurring revenue. Okay, then project is something wherein you are getting the revenue after that project is finished. Like take the example of real estate projects. Okay, somebody is buying any flat or any kind of bungalow. Then once that construction is over and that you are in a position to hand over that final output to your customers, then you get paid. So project is one format from which you can get the revenue. Time and material, like for sharing the time or for spending the time for certain skills, for certain services, you get paid, like tuitions, consultancy projects. So here time and material is the element against which you get the revenue. Okay, usage fee, mobile minutes, or we can say internet that we are using, that is a usage fee. Grants are also there. Most of the time, some organizations get the grant from the government. So that is also revenue because there are certain sectors for which government encourage those sectors by giving these grants. So it is ultimately revenue for that organization. Brokerage is a revenue. Advertising is a revenue. Okay. So these are all different formats of revenue. And you as an organization should understand that out of these different formats, which one is applicable to me, which one is possible for me, because it is not necessary that every company will use all these different formats. So you should understand from which different angles I can nowadays, if you take the example of Zomato, wherein we have seen that their key resource is a data. So they are also getting, they have also developed the revenue model from that data. They can either lend or they can sell that data at a very lucrative price, and through that they are getting the revenue. Okay, so one have to understand that what is my revenue model, what are the different streams through which I can earn for my organization, for my enterprise. Is that clear? I guess that I'm making sense. It is not rocket science. That's why I'm trying to explain that faster so that we can quickly go to the example which we are supposed to discuss in connection with all these components. Is that clear? Anybody can confirm? I'm really not understanding why students are not replying back. Are they muted?
No, ma'am.
Then why they're not replying? Generally, that never happened in my class that students don't reply. Rabia, Sachin, is it understood? We are on track. Are we on the same page?
Actually, yes, ma'am, but I don't know. They are not replying.
Dr. Yogita? Anyway, so let us go to the next slide now. I guess that everything is clear so far.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I'm getting some replies here. Okay. Fine. So some of the replies have come into the chat box. Fine. So I can continue. Now, when we are talking about revenue streams, basically we are talking about optimizing the revenue, because ultimately by making the permutations and combinations of different revenue models that we have discussed, we are ensuring that how we are optimizing our revenue. Okay, so that we are getting the maximum revenue with available. What optimum is what possible, possibly maximum. That is what is optimum. So with the help of all these different options, how I can make use of those different revenue streams innovatively so that I can get the maximum revenue from those options. Okay. So here you're basically asking the questions like what value do we deliver to the customer? Then which one of your customers problem that you are helping and solving rather? Then what bundles of products and services you're offering to your customers. So all this will ultimately help you to understand that what revenue model and the combination of revenue streams you should go. Okay. So with this, we have completed with the design part of business model canvas. Okay, we have understood all those 9 building blocks or 9 components of business model canvas while designing it. But just designing is definitely not enough. Yes or no? You have made a very nice business plan, but you haven't implemented it. Is your business going to start? It is not going to start. You will have to bring that action into, bring that plan into action. Then only that business enterprise will set up or it will start. So the next very important task in the process of developing and actually implementing the business model canvas is to convert your design into actual business model creation. So here it is very important, and the skills which are generally required for both these different tasks are different. Probably the skills which are needed for designing the business model canvas is something which is more conceptual, something which is more, like compiling kind of nature. Whereas when it comes to the implementation, it is more of operational. And majority of the time, sadly, it has been found that business model canvas, which are nicely, like drafted and designed, they sound or they found failing. Okay, they found failing. Reason generally is being that the people who are designing it and the people who are implementing it, they are different. And that is the reason it is one of the important suggestion or important tactic that the enterprise or entrepreneurs should understand, that they should engage the people within the teams which are preparing the business model, which are designing the business model, so that they can engage themselves. When you are, how you are going to make the human resources engaging in the entire overall process of developing as well as implementing the business model canvas? By allowing them to participate in both the stages. Okay, wherever and whenever it is possible for the entrepreneur, they should allow the people who are going to ultimately implement that business model format or business model canvas in the process of business model design, so that they can understand what were the logics behind different decisions and then how we are going to ultimately take them into consideration while implementing that business model. Is that clear? So very important thing that you should understand, or you should smoothly move from that designing stage to the implementation phase. Okay. So that is all regarding the discussion of all those 9 components of business model canvas we have seen. Now, as an example, I have prepared one business model canvas of Tesla, which I'm going to show you. And based on the understanding, that canvas will be available to you for the next 2 minutes. I want you to go through all those different building blocks of the business model canvas of Tesla. And based on that, I'm going to take one activity of one of the other company, which is very known to all of us, which is going to help you to understand that how we can identify the different terms in different blocks for that while preparing the business model canvas of that company. Okay. So here comes the business model canvas of Tesla. We all know Tesla company. Is there anybody who doesn't know?
No one will.
This is the example of business model canvas of Tesla. Okay, so just go through all these building blocks and the components in that. Exactly, whenever I'm saying customer segment of Tesla, obviously Tesla is not for the, what we can say, definitely the customer segment for Tesla is the luxury sedans, then SUVs and premium small cars. Okay, so accordingly, how the things changes in case of Tesla. If you have understood all the previous slides, I don't find any difficulty in understanding this example. So if you have any question, you can ask it, but I'm giving you 2 minutes to go through this entire example of Tesla business model canvas. Is it done? If it is done, I want any one of you to tell me or rather summarize exactly that what this business model is all about, okay, and what is its purpose. In brief, anybody can summarize. That can also help the remaining others to revise and refresh. Nikhil sir, can you tell me what exactly we have taken away so far from whatever discussion we had?
So Tesla is into a very unique and innovative product that is that's the electric vehicles, and for this they have unique key partners who provide components to them. Prior to which they do a detailed R&D on that, which is again flows from their the end point here is their customer requirement. That is the value proposition that they bring to their customers are the vehicles through non-fossil sources, that is electric vehicles, and the value proposition they are giving to their customers are basically high-end or very, if not very high-end, very premium electric vehicles, which are giving long ranges, and they have the other value proposition that they give is a wide network of their charging facilities. And their vehicles are with a lot of R&D and research, which give very long ranges, and thus for the a product like electric vehicles gives a very satisfying range anxiety. I would say. Assurance to the customer. So that's the value proposition that Tesla is giving world over of high-end electric vehicles with a strong charging network and good range. And behind all this customer value proposition that they're giving in their business model lies their R&D, their unique components given by their key partners, and for which they have these the resources like here we see the key the vehicle assemblies battery. They have their own battery factories and assembly lines, and thus so their cost flows from sale of these high-end models, and in fact they are the second largest electric vehicles sales in the world now, and uh, and their revenue flows from sales as well as the servicing, sales and servicing, and the charging network that they have provided. I'm not sure what this government grant means here. So, I mean, this is what I've understood of Tesla and what you have given in these segments. I don't know if I've been able to put it very lucidly in a very
So,
theoretical way.
yeah. So now you'll agree that whatever we have started with in the very beginning, first slide, that this business model canvas gives you the visual representation of all elements, input, output, and process. And in a holistic way, we can get the understanding of the entire business operations in one single view. And it helps you to the further discussions and collaborations and further interactions, isn't it? So the very first
Yeah.
slide where we started with what is the actual purpose of business model canvas, I guess now it is clear to all of you. Okay. Now we will take one activity. We will, can we go for it, Sunita ma'am? Because another 15 minutes.
Yeah, ma'am, no problem.
Okay. So we are going to take an activity wherein I want you to give me the business model canvas elements for all these 9 blocks. Okay. For any guess, this is very well-known company to all of us. And I'm sure each one of you are contacting them at least once in a week. At least once in a week. Any guess?
Zomato, Swiggy.
Zomato, Swiggy, correct. So we are going to take the business, we are going to create now. Okay, let us create the business model canvas for Zomato. It is well-known company. We are very much aware about their operations, majority of them. Okay, so let us see what are the different business model canvas components of Zomato. Okay, let us start with the first one, customer segment. Yeah. What is customer segment for business model for Zomato? Who are the customers?
Students, bachelors.
Students, bachelors. Anyone else?
Professionals, all working professionals maybe.
All working professionals. Acha, who are not the customers of Zomato? To whom they should not have any kind of, like they should not target their any of the efforts toward them. Who are
Senior
not the
citizens.
customers of Zomato?
Senior citizens, maybe.
Correct. Senior citizens, okay. Or the joint families with all the household and every other help available at home.
Home food lovers.
Home food lovers, okay. Okay. So one should now here for Zomato. Yeah, I think I'm getting some answer in the chat box also. Diabetics. Mandip is saying diabetics are the people who are the segment for the Zomato. How can you explain that, Mandip? Achha, they are
That's
not the segment. Okay, fine. So those
that's
who are
another
yes,
another
I
idea
can
for
understand.
Zomato
Those
to
who are
grow.
health conscious, probably.
Yeah.
Those who are like, as Nitin sir said, somebody who is only
Junk food.
believing in having home food rather than not having any outside food. Okay, so they are not the customers. Very good. So let me club whatever answers I have got. So individual customers seeking food delivery or dining options. Okay, they are the customers. So you have given only one answer, the customers actually. Apart from that, those who are ultimately interacting with them or rather becoming their customer are also the restaurants. Restaurants are also the customers of this business of this Zomato, because restaurants are looking to reach out to them for the broader customer base. So they are also the customer segment for Zomato. Okay, they are customers, they are business customers, but they are customers. Okay, corporate clients who are ordering meals and meeting various meals for their meetings and events on the bulk. Okay, then even food delivery riders who are seeking employment opportunities. So all these are their direct and indirect customers. The first one is their direct customers, whereas these are their indirect customers. So when we are writing out the customer segment, you should check out from all different angles that who are my customers, whom I am delivering the service, whom I am giving some value. Okay. See, I'm not, as a Zomato doesn't give value only to the customers who are delivering the foods or who are getting the food delivery. They're also serving the restaurants who are looking for broad base of the customers. They're serving the huge corporate clients for the huge supplies. Okay. Huge, big meetings and events. They're also, like giving some employment opportunities to those riders. So these are also their customers. Okay, while we need to understand or rather enlist them in the customer segment, because whenever the different value propositions will be decided, these elements or these customers need to be taken into consideration. Okay, you cannot say that we will deliver the goods in 5 minutes. Just as a value proposition, Zomato cannot say that we are going to deliver the goods in 5 minutes, because for a humanly efforts, it is impossible. Okay, even delivering the food in 30 minutes has become the challenge for the Domino's. 5 minutes is beyond limit of the human efforts. So you cannot say that. So these are also your customers. Are you getting it? So these are the customer segment for Zomato. Okay, apart from the one who are ordering the food. Second, value proposition. So tell me the value proposition of Zomato. Yes, remaining others, I want them to try. Mandeep, can you explain me? I guess that you are not able to talk. That's why you are putting the things in the chat box. But
Diverse range of food products that they can deliver.
okay, they can deliver the diverse range of foods. Means suppose you are going to any one particular place, your choices are limiting to only those things which are available there. Whereas because of Zomato, you can order anything from any restaurant. So diverse range of foods. Very good. Anything else? Next value proposition.
Ease of ordering through
Ease of
their
ordering. Okay.
technology.
Okay.
The
Sunita ma'am.
complete customer experience that they give is very user friendly.
Okay, user friendly. Convenience is a kind of that only, no? Convenience.
Yeah, convenience in their customer experience.
Yeah. What else?
With the help of technology, definitely they have used a very user-friendly application, which is even means those who are new also they are able to do the means they are able to order food. It's not
Okay.
like hard and fast training is not required for that.
Okay, yes. Almost 24/7 service. Good. So that is a value that it will give you, or it confirms you that you will not be hungry at any point of time. Even at 2 o'clock in the night or 3 o'clock in the morning also you can order the foods. My son actually he does that. So I know it. So that is true. So that is value proposition. Correct. Okay, let me give my list. Shall I? Is there any other point coming in your mind regarding value proposition?
Anytime, anywhere.
Anytime, anywhere. Okay, good. Okay, so this is the list of value proposition. You have already said all those things probably. Convenient food delivery and dining options, wide variety of restaurants and cuisines that you can choose from. Then user-friendly platforms for which you, as rightly said by Sunita ma'am, that for which the training is not required, it could be easily operated by anybody. Okay. And other is discounts, deals, loyalty benefits. Okay. These are also few value propositions that the customers expect. Okay. So these are the value propositions of Zomato. Right? Now let's go to the next part. Channels. What are the channels of Zomato? What is channel? Channel is anything through which you are reaching out to your customer.
All small and big restaurants, small, what we can say, the not hotels, but very small restaurants.
Are they channels?
They are the partners.
They are the partners, correct.
Channels would be their entire online platform, their very robust platform,
Yes,
their apps.
correct. Applications, website. What else? Third-party aggregators also are there nowadays,
Mm.
isn't it? Any other thing?
The food delivery boys.
Food delivery boys, yes. So these are the channels, mobile applications on all the devices. Okay. Then partnered restaurant for dine-in experiences. Now here probably channels, as Nikhil sir rightly said, they are actually the key partners. But here the services which are coming through these restaurants can be the channels. Through them you are ultimately reaching out to the customers. Okay. Social media, yes, social media is also there. Which social media is helping you to reach out to your customers in the Zomato case? Can you tell me? Example of social media. How we can say that social media is also one of the channels? I think Mandeep has answered this, no? Yeah, Mandeep. How social media is a channel? Because they keep on doing the advertisements on all the social media platforms. Very simple. Like suppose if you are seeing something on YouTube, in between the advertisement come, and that shop now button is always provided with there. So you can immediately get, like transacted there. You are shifted there. So this is how the social media is also helping. Next is customer relationships. Okay, let's quickly do that. Customer relationships. Now this is output that we are talking about. Okay. So what kind of customer relationship in what format we are seeing, particularly when it comes to Zomato services. Okay. Shall I give that list? So customer relationship is through user accounts for personalized recommendations and order history. Customer support in case if there are some complaints or some assistance needed or for any kind of inquiries. And engagement through emails, newsletters, notifications continuously on a regular basis. So these are the different ways through which the Zomato is continuously getting connected with their customers. Okay. So these are customer relationship, what we can say tools that they are using. Okay. Next is revenue streams. I have already explained few of the revenue streams of Zomato in previous discussion. Yeah. Who else will answer? So these are the revenue streams. Agreed? The commission fee from the partner restaurants, from where the product is actually procured and delivered to the customer. Then subscription fees. They have also come with some gold membership, if you remember, in some time back. So that subscription from the gold membership or premium dining experiences, or even advertising revenue they get. Okay, so all these are the different revenue streams. Even data I have already spoken about. Like they are having huge database of the customers, which they may sell at any point of time for generating the revenue. And that is, we can say, probably may become the biggest revenue stream for them in coming future. Okay, in coming days. Because that time data probably may be even costlier than the gold, and probably they may be in the position, they will be in a position to, and that's the reason why this business model is like Zomato. They are continuing their operations even at a loss. Let me tell you that Zomato is not profit-making company at the moment. It is one of the biggest loss-seeking company, but still they are continuing because they are seeing that prospect in the future. The venture capitalists who are investing into these companies are not for present benefits or future present profits. They are looking for the future huge profits, and that's the reason, in spite of these companies are incurring huge losses, they are ultimately, because this is just put the calculations now. Whatever discount they are giving, whatever charges they are paying to these delivery boys, apart from that, I don't think that the company must be earning anything. So in spite of that, they are continuing. Why? Because of this data which they are going to ultimately use, and later on they may use that data for in different ways. Nowadays, because of that artificial intelligence, this is going to become one of the very strong input for all the decisions and all the kind of businesses in future. So that time they are going to dominate the market. Okay. Key resources. What are the key resources of Zomato? Quickly. These are the key resources: technology platforms, delivery tracking applications, restaurant partnerships, then network of partner restaurants and delivery riders, marketing and branding efforts to attract the customers. Okay, so these are key resources that Zomato have. Agreed? Anything else is coming in your mind? Key activities. These are the important activities as far as Zomato format is concerned, which is about onboarding the restaurants, onboarding the relationship partner, delivery partners, then software development and maintenance of their platform for any kind of, like hassle-free transactions, and then marketing campaign so that they can acquire new and new customers and retain the existing customers. Okay. So these are the key activities of Zomato. Key partnerships. All the restaurant food chains having different menus which are listed on the Zomato, delivery partners, and payment gateways for seamless transactions. So these are key partners. All the banks or any UPI transactions which are included, they are the channel partners, key partners in the entire operations of the Zomato. Then cost structure. In operational category, the maintaining platform and maintaining the customer support services, okay, ensuring the best service to the customers, ensuring the what we can say resolution of their problems, marketing and advertising expenses, partner commission and incentives for the restaurants. So these are the expenses which is ultimately talking about the cost in their business, which is a cost structure. Okay. So that is all from my side. We have also understood, first of all, the entire components of business model canvas, and we discussed that with the help of an example as well. So if you have any questions, let's take them before we end the session. Any question? I guess there is no question. Nikhil sir, is there any question?
No, thank you, ma'am. That was good.
Ma'am, the data point you mentioned is very threatening for Zomato, Swiggy. Yeah, let's talk about that. It's really a very good question that how this data, because obviously, and that's the reason, no, we are saying that we are becoming very happy. You must have seen that just for the, like just in a, for the reason or for the benefit of few bucks or few discounts, we give away our information anywhere on any platform. At least even your name and number is a huge information for any company for that sake in coming future. Your name and your number, mobile number, verified mobile number is more than enough for any organization to do the business in that category. Okay, which we give away anywhere for any, like smaller kind of benefits and smaller kind of discounts. So who are culprits? We are also equally responsible for that. And here in coming days, we are not going to hire, or whether that data is used ethically or not, that it is not going to be a question, because we have already shared. And while doing that, we have already given them the authority to use it for any different purpose. So saying that this is not accepted or this is unethical is something which is out of discussion now. Yeah, they have all this information. You're right. They have our date of birth. They have our anniversary dates, address. They ask it. I remember most of the time in many of the platforms and portals, they ask all these things. And tomorrow they will be able to develop the model. Don't you think that just because of the information about your frequency of ordering a particular food, they will be designing that artificial intelligence model, and that will ultimately help the organizations to decide and suggest you in the future. Okay. So this is going to happen. This is definitely going to happen. Yeah, it can help the health industry as well. You're right. They can tie up with the insurance company. Exactly. Actually, I don't have time now. Otherwise, I would have shown that clip to you, wherein how that Google have made the life pathetic. Means there is one reel which goes on, like one person orders the pizza to the pizza office, and that the one who is taking the order is a automated machine. So it says that whether you want the pizza which you generally order or you want something else. And when that person asks for the pizza which is comparatively little more calorie oriented, they say that you should not have it because last time only you had that check. He says that no, I didn't have. Then he shows immediately the documents or the proof for that. Okay. The moment he says that I haven't, this is series of lines. Like I could see that it's around 5 to 8 minute reel, wherein entirely ultimately that person leaves. He doesn't order anything. So this is how something is going to happen. So this kind of data could be used by anybody in future, not only insurance company, your doctors, your hospitals, even your restaurants, they will be using this data. Okay. So that's all from my side. If there is no question, shall we end the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was really nice talking to you. I hope that this new concept must have really added to your knowledge. So looking forward for such kind of more such initiatives by our innovation cell. Thank you very much, Dr. Sunita, for your initiatives and for your efforts in this. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for
Yeah, I
stepping
have
Yes.
one YouTube video which I am putting in the chat box. Let me check whether I can put that in the chat.
Yes, you can. You can put.
Yeah, this is the link. The same link is there. Yeah. So this is the link of this video, which I have already put in the chat box. As we are not allowed to, we don't have enough time. I'm not going to run this video. So this video is basically summarizing everything what we have learned as a business model canvas. Okay. So you can see that YouTube video later in the, as per your convenience. Okay. So thank you very
so much, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, participants, for attending this session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.